Hey guys, Banana Luck here. Welcome back to another Water of Realms video. So we're back with a Gear Dungeon series here, and yeah, it's pretty rough. We, unlike Gear Dungeon 2, do not have all the meta units required here. The big change in these three new stages is that there's a introduced reach reduction mechanic, and what happens is that every time Volca does a AoE hit, she's gonna reduce reach on all the units deployed on the ground or rather all the units that are deployed. And Ezareth counters this very well because he doesn't actually need rage. Most of his damage comes from his charges, and his ultimate is basically just switching modes. So not much issues with him there, and that's why you're gonna see in the recommended lineup, Ezareth is gonna be in most teams here. If you don't see Ezareth, you might still see Valara or even Demi. So we don't have all three of these units, which makes it very tough. But I do have to say, I did see this guy that used Honora and Vienna. His Honora is A0 as well. But I have no idea how he did this particular run. So yeah, we're gonna actually use our version instead. And that's gonna be this. So we have A5 Honora, but we're using Verlis, Ares, as well as this other units, and it's not the most accessible with A5 Honora, but it is what we have. So let's actually hit into the run, and I'll show you guys how it's done. Alright, first unit we're gonna place down here is gonna be Verlis, and we're gonna put Constance down next, buffing her with the Invigoration. Wait, why is it not buff? I have no idea, but anyways, reason why we have Constance down here is that she's considered a defender, so it means that the boss is going to target her, which just takes the pressure off all the platform units, because in Gear Dungeon 1.13, I don't think any platform units can survive one hit from the boss. Everything dies. So now I'm going to proc the ultimate here. And we're also going to do the Verlis ultimate there. There we go. And once we have that down, next unit we're going to put in is going to be Erlis. And that's going to just kickstart the rage regen that we actually need for the next wave here, because Honora's ultimate is gone, which means that we're going to have to rely on the second wave of ultimates from Verlis to be able to kill off this wave. And yeah, now we're going to wait for Greed to come in. That's the next unit that we actually need. And I'm going to pop the Beelzebub ultimate. There we go. And once we have the Verlis ultimate, I'm going to spam it. Make sure we get it out in time, because there's another stack of Crimson Moon there, which is the rage reduction mechanic. And there we go. We're done with this wave. Now we're done. We're going to focus on the top side instead. And this is basically going to involve cycling through Ares as well as Constance. So in general, always pop the Ares ultimate first, because the animation is very long. And then with this, you should be able to clear through the waves fairly easily. And now we're going to proc the Honora ultimate once we have it ready. And then Verlis to follow shortly after. This ultimate, and then we're also going to get the Verlis one out. That's just going to help us to clear out this wave, and also to deal with the archers here, as Honora has the extended range at the moment. So you don't have to worry about these units coming close. There we go. Alright, now we're going to have another set of waves here. We're going to pop the Ares ultimate, and once it's up, Constance ultimate, and that should be able to help us to clear this top wave too. So it's very much rinse and repeat up top. You just need all the ultimates whenever they are ready, especially hollows, to make sure that you give enough rage to them in preparation for the next wave. Proc the ultimate, and now we're waiting for the Verlis ultimate to be up. We need these to be able to survive through the next wave. There we go. And now we just wait. We're going to cast the Beelzebub ultimate definitely, but we need to wait for the mobs to come a bit closer before we do that. There we go, pop the Anora ultimate. And yeah. Now we're gonna do the Hollow ultimate. Get Verlis ultimate up. Pop the ultimate there. There we go. And yeah, we're gonna have to just throw in fodder here. There we go. So the bottom wave is cleared now. And now we have the top wave remaining, but yeah, that's pretty much done as well. There we go. So it looks straightforward, but the timings are really tight. There is RNG, sometimes things slip through, but it is definitely much more manageable. And when you compare this versus Gear Dungeon 2, where it's very limited in terms of what you can do. So once again, Gear Dungeon 2 seems to be the tougher one here, and you can see damage-wise, we have Ares doing a lot of work here up top. He also has that global hit, which I think is helping out the waves at the bottom as well. And then Verlis, Anora, and the rest of these guys are just supports. So yeah. Is it easy? For sure, no, but there are definitely more ways around this than what we have in Gear Dungeon 2 in terms of the variety of lineups. So now let's actually head in and see what gear we have. So we did have a Hell's Lament set on Anestia in case we needed to use her. I think if I could turn back time, I'll probably put tank sets on her because I know that I'm going to have to squeeze her in that very last wave in case things didn't roll out well. Ares in a Keta SO set, it is one of the better sets that I have because he does have to do a lot of work up top. And then we have Realm Tear for Artifact. Probably should have used the enhanced one here. Not sure what I was doing there. And then Anora, the best Infernal Roar set I have, as well as an exclusive artifact. Given the fact that there was that other guy that did it with A0 Anora, it leads me to think that, you know, her awakenings may not be as big of a deal here, but I don't know. I could be wrong, because I didn't manage to replicate his run. Earliest, your standard healing set, as well as the Tia's Palm artifact. And then Constance, I have her on a very tanky set. This to ensure that she survives. And it is a Glacier on the right just to give her extra inspiration. Yeah, and then we have an exclusive, but I think you can pretty much use the Keen Wisdom here as well. And then Morrigan, no gear there, so we can just ignore her. Verlis, one of my best Soba Arcana sets. And then we also have the Tear of Twilight on her. Grid is in on a tanky Mana Spring set. And then the Spellcaster's Echo to get as much ultimates out as possible. So just make sure that you come close to this in terms of the stats so that he can actually do enough ultimates. And then Beelzebub Inspiration set as well. And then the Tear of Twilight because my Karen's Core is not maxed out. I should have probably switched this with Verlis because he needs the attack bonus more. And then last but not least, we have Hollow here in quite a tanky set as well. And then the Spirit Horn to get the ultimates going from the start. So yeah, that's the team. If you have any questions, leave it down in the comment section below. I think there are limitations with swapping things around, especially if you don't have the big tree, if you don't have Ezareth, you don't have Valara or Demi. Things are going to be a bit tougher, but we still managed to get through it. So yeah, let me know if you have any questions down in the comment section below, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.